a fried. It's episode 17 of For Our Edification. Thank you for downloading this edition of For Our Edification. I'm Eddie Francis. For Our Edification is supported by the Purposeful Philanthropy Foundation, and you can find the podcast on some of the biggest platforms. Pandora now, also Podbean, Homebase, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple, and more. You can check it out at eddiefrancis.com/For Our Edification. That's the For Our Edification page at eddiefrancis.com. Kids today, huh? You know them and you love them. Apple Fried Apple, a group of sixth graders in Jackson, Mississippi, so named by their teacher, D. Holt. But there is more to Apple Fried Apple than the social media cuteness. D joins For Our Edification to talk about the bigger picture when it comes to Apple Fried Apple. The views and opinions expressed on For Our Edification do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the hosts, guests, or any entities with which we are affiliated. So let me bring on to the For Our Edification podcast, D. Holt. He is the jewel of Apple Fried Apple. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe not a jewel. Maybe you're the core of Apple Fried Apple. I like, that might work. That just might work. Brother, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Man, how's everything going in J-Town, man? I got to tell you, I got love for Jackson. I've been to Jackson a few times.
Yes, sir. It's love out here, man. We out here in the sun right about now, so it's a lot of love, man. We just enjoying the vibes, trying to enjoy the summer and all of that. So
it's Mississippi, man. It's Mississippi.
Yeah. You gotta enjoy what you can,
Yeah. So let's start with a real basic question. How did this Apple Fried thing happen? How did it happen in the first place? I mean, I saw the tweet when you introduced it, but what happened?
I blame the kids, man. So again, I'm a member of Apple Phi Alpha fraternity, like my good brother here. But I have my bag that I bring to work with my laptop and all my work and things like that. It says Apple Phi Alpha on it. Also, I wore a few shirts that say Apple Phi Alpha as well, but I just remember kids trying to, understand. I mentioned I'm a part of Apple Phi Alpha, and they said Apple Fried Apple. I was like, no. I'm like, my shirt says Apple Phi Alpha. That was like Apple Fly Apple. I'm like, no. I mean, I'm a pretty fly guy, but it's like, nah, it's Apple. I see, and then they mess me up so bad because sometimes I be trying to say Alpha Phi Alpha, then I ain't no saying Apple Phi Alpha, but it's Apple Phi Alpha. I told them I'm a member of Apple Phi Alpha, and they just continued to go with Apple Fried Apple in their mind. It was made up that I was Apple. I was a fried apple, and they said Apple Fried Apple, and they stuck with it, man. And they was calling me that for the remainder of the year, and then I happened to get it on tape, and then boom, it was over with.
So you got to let the people know. So you were initiated into Alpha Phi Alpha when and where?
Okay, yes, sir, absolutely. So again, I'm a part of Alpha Phi Alpha. I was initiated spring 15 at Alcorn State University, the Delta Kappa chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. So yes, sir.
All right, Alpha South representing. All right,
absolutely.
Cool. So all right, so you had this thing. The students had a problem saying Alpha Phi Alpha. It turned into Apple Fried Apple, and you ran with it. I mean, dude, when you put the line on and the seeds and the whole thing, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great.
I had to. I mean, it was just so funny. People, because I was like, they kept saying I was Apple Fried Apple. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna make y'all Apple Fried Apple. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this y'all little organization. So, and then with the video, I gave them the names in the video. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and put their names on the shirt, this and that, and then it was history after that. It was history. So they are the founding members of Apple Fried Apple.
So. All right. So you were number one on your line. I was number one on my line. So the ace. That's Applejack, right?
That's Applejack.
That's Applejack. All right. All right.
Sir.
So ace is Applejack. I know the ace is rock solid. I know Applejack is solid.
Yes, sir.
So as far as the other ones, there was six. There's six of them, right?
Seven apple seeds
Oh, of course there's seven. Duh. What am I thinking? Okay,
for the
so
founders. You know,
we got seven seeds. All right. Which ones have gotten the most love?
Snapple Apple,
Snap.
the deuce. Snapper Apple, she been getting all the love, man. All the love.
and how have the seeds responded to this?
They are enjoying it. You know, it really went viral on the last day of school, so I don't think they really realized how it really got big after we left.
Right.
So, you know, the last day of school, that's when it just took off. It went crazy. But I had the opportunity, you know, stop by, holler at them, go to their houses and drop some food out. But the parents,
Oh,
man,
that's
they've
cool,
been
man.
welcoming of it, and they loving it, man. They love it.
You even got some sponsorship love from Mott's.
Yes, sir. Mott's, Popeyes, Martinelli's,
Really?
Snapple. Yes. Oh, it's been crazy.
Well, okay, so Snapple came through. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
that's good to know.
They've been coming through, man. So it's been a beautiful thing.
When you've also gotten some of the media attention, and you've gotten radio interviews, you've got news stories about it. What kinds of questions have they been asking you? Why have they been reaching out to you? I mean, have they fallen that
I
much in
think
love
it's
with the
just so
seeds too?
organic,
Yeah.
authentic, and it's just, you know, everybody love the kids, man.
Yeah.
It's just a little sweet story,
Yeah.
and you know, it's just something that they want to share. And but you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm trying to have some, you know, some positive come out of this as far as the benefits for the kids. So, you know, getting them products, getting them, you know, opportunities, just being a mentor towards those kids, educating them on HBCUs, Greek life, all those different things. So, you know, it's good. And I'm from Mississippi, so it's always good to see us in a positive light. And it's, you know,
Yeah.
I'm great that I can be a representation of that.
Yeah, man. So speaking of that, you have other Greeks who teach at your school, right?
Right.
Okay, so what are some of the other organizations represented at the school?
Right. So we have the women, we have the AKAs, we have the Zetas, we have the Deltas. You know, you have the Alphas, myself, we have the Kappas. Do we have any Sigma? We have a Sigma. We have a
Mm-hmm.
Sigma. I don't think we have any Qs. I don't think we have any Q dogs. But yeah, we have a lot of we have a lot.
Okay. And so what's it like for the kids? Because I know that y'all have represented with your letters, and I know that y'all have represented with your colleges, your alma maters as well. So how do the kids pick up on that?
I mean, they pick up. So it's funny because all of our schools are represented by different universities.
Mm.
So we think about our homeroom classes. You got have homerooms that's named Alcorn, Jackson State, Grambling, Howard, Spelman, FAMU. So all of our homeroom classes are represented by mostly HBCUs, and then you have a few other schools like LSU, you know, SEC schools. But overall, they are introduced to college at a early age, which is perfect.
Yeah, I think that's really, the reason I'm so interested in that is one of the things I've noticed is that first of all, Black Greeks, we gravitate to education like nobody's business. I mean, that's just what we do.
Right.
But then when we get to education, especially when we get to elementary schools and middle schools and high schools, I notice that so many of us, in the D9, we use our letters, we use our alma maters to open up conversations with kids about college and their futures and that sort of thing. So have you seen some of that? Have you done that yourself? Maybe just open up a conversation with some of the kids?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I try to have those conversations with the kids. I think that's very important, and I love the fact that we introduce them to HBCUs at a young age.
Yeah.
But just kind of, you know, emphasize the importance of like scholarship, the different opportunities that they have at a young age, just to focus on the academics, get the, you know, so you can get that scholarship. You're an athlete, you know, make sure you going hard so you can get that scholarship. Band, you know, we want to let them know that there's so many different opportunities, so you can make it to that college level and succeed. So yeah, absolutely.
So let's be real about this. I mean, are these some kids who really need that conversation?
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all of our young kids do, because I mean,
Yeah.
when I think I was young, I wasn't really too aware of these different HBCUs.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm with all my family with the Alcorn. That's most of all I knew. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just, they get, they're aware of all these different HBCUs and other universities at a younger age as well. So they kind of expands their mind. So like, let's say when they get into high school, going to their senior year, oh, well, I remember, down, my home room was Alcorn, but I remember the homeroom beside it was Jackson State.
Yeah.
Or it may have been Grambling. So it's like, okay, oh, so this is really what we were gearing up to.
Mm-hmm.
When they make it to that moment where they can decide on what type of college or university they want to go to.
Do you see yourself in those kids?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. So again, like I as an educator, it's crazy. I'm like, man, I remember when I was in 6th grade, and it's just, it's just so different. Like seeing myself in the, like you look in the mirror, it's like, okay, imagine what my teachers were like in 6th grade
All
and
right.
what they were teaching me, and now it's like, okay, these kids at this young age, they're gonna remember like, well, my 6th grade teacher did this. So it's like I want to be as impactful as I can. So absolutely, man. I just want to guide them and influence them to do the best that they possibly can. So
Yeah, and you're from Jackson, right?
yes, sir. So
So you can definitely
he is
relate to
different.
them.
So yeah, I want to see these kids do the best they can. So absolutely.
So wait a minute, I gotta get something out of the way. You're from Jackson, you went to Alcorn State. You betrayed the city of Jackson, man.
You know what's so funny? No, so I mean, my whole family. I couldn't betray my family first of all because I went
Oh,
to
well, that's true.
Alcorn.
Yeah, your whole family went to Alcorn.
Yeah,
Yeah, your
my
legacy.
mother and my mom and pops, they met at Alcorn, so that's first and foremost.
Oh, okay.
Grandparents, I had a lot of people went there, but
Okay.
like I said, I grew up in Jackson as well, so a lot of people may not know, but I'm actually getting my master's from Jackson State at the moment. So
That's not so bad. That's not so bad. That's not so
yeah,
bad at all. So I know
no,
Alcorn forgive you for that. So they don't
yeah,
have a problem with that.
I'm
So
just trying to elevate.
you're an Alcorn legacy. Are you a Greek legacy by any chance?
Yeah, so all the women in my family are AKAs. Mama,
Okay.
both my grandmamas, all my aunties, cousins, all that. I have an uncle. My mom's brother, he's an Alpha,
Mm-hmm.
so that's where I got my influence when it came to Alpha. But I guess I guess you can say so. So I've always had Greek representation in my family.
What did that mean to you growing up? I mean, what did you see as
So
far as that was concerned?
I mean, I was always aware of the sororities, just like I said, it was the women in my life that really made the
Yeah.
most impact, and I knew they were all women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. As far as like my uncle, like he had a huge influence on me as well, but he was one of the only Alphas that I knew at an early age. But I would definitely say that the women in my family kind of molded me onto the person I am today.
Yeah, yeah. And I think for a lot of people, what they may not realize, especially people outside of the D9 and especially people outside of the HBCU community, is that this legacy for us, this isn't a legacy of it's not a social legacy, it's a
Right.
community and a service legacy
Right.
more than anything
Exactly.
else.
So
Go ahead, go ahead.
well, I mean, I was just saying that's what I love about Apple Fried Apple because I gotten so much love from the Greeks and
Yeah.
just everyone just showing me love. Like, man, this is really what we about: community, scholarship, things like that. Just making a change. So even regardless of what organization I represent, it's just people loving the fact that it kind of goes back to our original roots of just being a part of Greek letter organization, do the things that we were founded upon.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. So here's something I found out, and this is how crazy our connection is when it comes to education in the D9. So I actually took inventory of all of the founders of all of the Divine Nine, and I found out that at least 50% of all of the founders of all the D9 had some connection to education.
Wow.
At
And I
least
can believe that.
50%. Yeah, yeah.
I can believe that.
And I
So
mean, and it's deep too, man. I mean, it is very, very deep when you take a look at it. So it's almost as if education for the D9, it's almost as if it's our natural habitat more than
yeah,
anything.
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And I think we have a huge impact in that area as well. So yeah, I definitely think we have a huge impact with that.
Yeah, man. So all right. So what's next for Apple Fried Apple? I know people have
Apple
asked you
fried
that.
apple. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's fine. As of right now, man, I'm just trying to Because it's just crazy how it's just taking storm. Because it started off as just a joke, and just the level that it's reached is just like, oh my goodness. But I mean, I wanted to benefit the kids. I really just want people to reach out for support. I want to do like a back to school drive. I really want more opportunities to, truly come from this whole dilemma, or just this whole thing that's, you know what I'm saying, just this whole apple fried apple situation. I really want some great things to really come out of it. So possible more brands reaching out to us, more opportunities, things like that. I really wanted to be an organization amongst young kids.
Yeah.
Kind of educate them on just really prepping them for college. I think that's
Yeah.
the main thing. So rather it's just HBCUs, Greek life. I really want to put them in a position where they are being where they can really have their own group. They can represent something. They can change a kid's life, for the better. You know what I'm saying? People love to be a part of something. Everyone, some people like, oh, I'm alone and this and that, but everyone likes to be a part of something. And apple fried apple is something that people could definitely, especially young kids, they can be a part of.
Yeah.
They'll set them up for their future. So absolutely.
What kind of attention has it brought to the school?
Oh, it's been great. They've been getting a lot of attention. Their name has probably been mentioned more than it's probably ever been mentioned before. And then we're a charter school at that.
Oh, okay.
So So, but again, I mean, just the attention that they receive, I think they're enjoying it right now.
Well, good enough. D, brother, keep up the good work, man. D Holt is the core of Apple Fried Apple.
Yes, sir.
And I really appreciate you, man. And keep holding it high, my brother.
Yes, sir.
As you heard me discuss with D Holt, education is just something that we do in the Divine Nine. The reason is, I think we have this yearning to reach back and help the little ones, well, and the big ones, who remind us of where we were once upon a time. Our introduction to fraternity and sorority life was through education, and our memberships have helped so many of us reach this point of self-actualization. In many elementary and high schools, in urban areas in particular, it's common to see D9 members wearing their letters on dress down days. So yes, we do love wearing our letters. Everybody knows that. But we're also using our letters to make education fun, empowering, to make it a conversation piece for a lot of students. But most importantly, D9 members, what we're doing is we're making education accessible. Yeah, accessibility is pretty powerful when it comes to education. So let's look at critical race theory, for example, that hot debate. Well, okay, it's really not much of a debate among a lot of black folks. I mean, we know what it is, we got it, we understand it, makes perfect sense to us. But when you look at the politicians who have a bee in their bonnet over this thing, maybe it's because black scholars, quite a few of whom are members of the Divine Nine, use social media to make this very important social science theory accessible and putting it where it belongs, with the people. At the end of the day, here's what I think. I think that the Divine Nine's commitment to education is about seizing opportunities like apple fried apple. And it's the ultimate form of servant leadership. And it gives kids a foundation to build something very important: their identities and their value. Again, many thanks to my good brother, D Holt, for joining For Our Edification. Make sure you check out the For Our Edification page at eddiefrancis.com. That's eddiefrancis.com/4houredification. And make sure you check out the podcast on your favorite platform: Pandora, Apple, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. For Dr. Halima Leek Francis, a finer woman of Zeta Phi Beta, I'm Eddie Francis. Thank you so much for downloading this edition of For Our Edification.